I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm actually filming this video over a week early because I've just hit my goals and I just can't gatekeep this progress anymore. I've got to do this. I've got to film this right now, even if you guys don't see it for about a week. Over a week, which is crazy. So last update, I was getting a little bit upset with this project pan because I felt like I was not making any progress at all. And I actually cut back one of my Pan That palettes. I was working on two Pan That palettes. I was working on, of course, my Modern Renaissance and also a singles palette. And I felt like because I was working on so many eyeshadows, I wasn't getting any progress, or I was getting very, very, very minute progress. So I decided to drop the singles palette and I decided to just focus on the Modern Renaissance. I decided to roll in a companion palette, which was the Colourpop Making Mauves. And these two are what I've been working on this month. So of course, this palette has usage goals, it has a finish goal, and this palette is more just casual. It's not got any hit pan goals, it's not got any goals at all. It's just a palette that I can pair with the Modern Renaissance casually, make new looks, be a little bit more inspired, and hopefully help me use this palette a lot more, which let me tell you, it has. I feel so confident in the decisions that I made last month, but just before we do jump in to the amazing progress, if you guys have not already, like and subscribe because it would mean the world to me. I upload every single day here on my YouTube channel. I love bright, fun, colourful makeup. As you can probably tell, I love project panning and get ready with me's. I'm dabbling in reviews sometimes as well, so if that sounds like a good time to you, definitely join our little family here on YouTube. I'm trying to hit 5k by the end of the year and I really think we can do it. I've got a good feeling, so stick around because I think you'll love it here. Not that I'm biased or anything, not at all, but it's a pretty good place to be. So, Modern Renaissance. As I said, was getting a little bit down because I'd only finished one extra shade this year. I've been working on this palette now for 1.5 years. This was my Pan That palette all the way through 2023, and I had finished so many shades in 2023, but I'd only finished one shade in 2024, and it was getting me down. I feel like the pans weren't expanding at all, so I decided cutting that extra palette to get more progress on this was the way to go. And girl, it was. I feel great, I feel light, and I have hit an amazing goal in this palette. So, I'm going to show you the progress. Are you ready? Oh my god, are you ready? So, this was what this palette looked like last month. You can see we had 4 shades left in this palette, all of them with massive pans on them. It was ridiculous. I've worked so hard on this palette over the past 1.5 years, which is crazy to say, but I absolutely have. I'm proud of the overall progress that we'd made, but these pans hadn't really expanded at all in the past 6 months for what it seems like to me anyway. And I was just getting so under the weather, feeling like I'm never going to finish this palette. When is it going to be done? I'm seeing no progress. And that is when I changed the whole structure of this project. So my goal this month was a little bit of a hefty one. It was to finish Boun Fresco, which was the dusty pinky shade. And this is what it looks like today. Boun Fresco, where is she? We do not know her. She has gone completely. I was so nervous saying that goal because I was like, oh my god, I'm never going to finish Boun Fresco. And there were comments saying, I don't know, girl. I don't know if you'll do it. I don't know if you'll finish Boun Fresco this month, but look at this palette. I have done it. It has gone. Look. She's gone. She's done. We don't know her anymore. She is out. She has been kicked out. Oh my goodness me. It feels so good. It feels so good to have finished another shade in this palette. So now I only have 3 shades left and I can finish them by the end of the year. I can do it. I have 5 months left. Yeah! 5 months left. It's fine. I can do it. 5 months left to finish these 3 shades. They all have huge pans on them. We've got to do it. Like, surely we have to do it. I'm so excited. So Boun Fresco and Antique Bronze have both been finished this year so far. we can get an extra 3. We can get an extra 3. It's fine. So of course, I'm going to go through the uses with you guys now. I'm going to show you some looks that I have done in a minute, and then I'm going to do weights, and then I'm going to be rolling in a new companion palette because the Making Mauves is leaving this project. We're going to be rolling in a new one. So, Boun Fresco. Boun Fresco, she's gone. She's gone. I'm so excited. I was getting so tired of these cool tone pink looks. I'm sure on my channel I've done like every video in the past month with a cool tone smoky pink look. It is done though. So I have used this 11 times in the last month for a total of 87 uses over the past year and a half to finish it. It's gone. It's done. We don't have to look at her anymore. She has gone. I'm so excited. I'm so unbelievably excited for this. 87 uses. That's so many uses, and I'm just over the moon. So let's move on to Love Letter. I think this is going to be the hardest shade for me to use because I'm not a pink girl. Boun Fresco was okay for me to use just because it was that kind of smoky, grungy pink. Love Letter is like pink. She's pink. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. But I have used this 4 times this month for a total of 94 uses in the project. Girl, 4 uses isn't great. I know, but I've just been so hyper-focused on Boun Fresco. Something that occurred to me, and I'm sure it's like common sense to everyone else, but in my mind it just didn't click. I should have used Boun Fresco with these other shades to get use on more of them, but it just... I was so hyper-focused and Boun Fresco was the only thing in my brain. So I could have paired it with Love Letter a lot more, but I just didn't. I don't want bright, crazy pink looks, so it's fine. Red Ochre, I've used this 5 times this month for a total of 94 uses in the project. The same amount of use as Love Letter, which is very interesting. I really haven't been focused on any of these other shades this month. But moving on to Realgar, I've used this 6 times this month for a total of 119 uses in the project. And I do actually have Realgar on my inner crease today and on my lower lash line, along with the Honey palette from Colourpop, and I also have the Book of Magic palette on my eyes today as well. So everything will be linked down below that I'm using today, as well as the companion palettes, as well as this palette, as always. I have continued to do my blush trick, so I've got a big blush brush, and I dipped into the 4 shades, and I used that as a blush. It's been a really, really lovely blush. I don't know how it's going to work now with just 3 shades. These are all very dark and very bright. I feel like Boun Fresco was kind of vital to that blush look because it toned it down a little bit. But we'll see. I'm going to still try and do it. It is summer right now. It's the perfect time for bright blush. So hopefully I can still use that. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. So I have actually lost quite a lot of weight on this palette, which is amazing. If you remember last month, it said that I actually hadn't lost any weight at all, not even a gram. We were at the exact same weight. So I was getting a little bit upset about that as well. But I feel like we have made up for that this month. So last month, this palette weighed 178 grams exactly. And this month it weighs 177.51 grams, meaning that in this month, we have lost 0.49 grams. That is nearly half a gram, which is amazing. I'm so happy about that. That has been one of the biggest weight losses yet. So I feel like that is made up for the complete stagnation of weight last month. And actually, this is the first month that we have gone under 178 grams. That's amazing. I'm just looking at my notes now. We started at 178.40 grams. So that's great. I'm so happy about that. So the weights of this palette have just gone up and down. I have no idea what's happened this year, but this palette is wild. So considering we lost nearly half a gram this month alone, since the start of the year, it is saying that we've only lost 0.89 grams. We've gone up, we gained like 0.68 grams one month, and then we went down, we went up, we've gone down, we've stayed the same. The weights of this are just all over the place. So I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, we've lost half of the weight, over half of the weight that we have lost in the whole year so far, this 1 month. It's not right. It's not right. It is not. So we're just going to carry on, I guess, and I'm gonna show you some looks that I did this month. So of course the first one is this one. I have Realgar, like I said, on the inner part of my eye look. I wanted to do something contrasty, and I do think that Realgar is going to be my next focus shade in this palette, but I'm going to talk more about that when I roll in my new companion palette. So brace yourself for a hell of a lot of pink looks. So first, I've spoken about this look before in my Pan Those Eyeshadows, but this is a different shade completely. This is the butterfly wing kind of look that I did a few days ago. And of course, I do have Boun Fresco blended out onto the inner part of the crease here. I did pair this with the It's My Pleasure palette from Colourpop, which is a bright purple palette. So of course, those two shades went absolutely perfectly with each other, and I wanted to get as much use on all of my shades as possible. So I have Sleeper, which is in my Deck of Panning Project Pan, I think. No, Fantasy Deck of Panning, I get them mixed up all the time. But then I have Ecstasy, which is the bright green. That is in my Pan Those Eyeshadows. And of course, Boun Fresco from this project pan as well. So a big mismatch of all of the project pans that I'm doing right now. It was a great look for usage, so I'm very, very happy about that. And I also loved this look as well. I did do a get ready with me with this look. If you were interested, it was my Father's Day get ready with me. So I'll link that up in the cards. It's talking about having like daddy issues on Father's Day and some of the struggles that non-fathered children can have. So I thought that was a little bit of a different take on Father's Day. So definitely go and have a look at that if that appeals to you in any way, or if you just wanted to see me do this beautiful look. Next, I have this look, which is probably my favorite look of the month. So of course, I did use Ecstasy again from my Pan Those Eyeshadows in the inner part of this look. But then, of course, Boun Fresco was blended out as my last transition shade on my outer part of the crease. It went with so many beautiful purpley looks, and especially panning Sleeper from the It's My Pleasure palette. They went perfectly together. It was my perfect excuse to try and finally get pan on Sleeper. No spoilers there. You're going to have to wait till my update for that. But they just went perfectly together, and I'm so happy that I took that opportunity to use them together so many times. This look is just beautiful. I'm not a pink person, so trying to use Boun Fresco in a way that didn't make me look like super girly. I don't like looking super girly. It's just something about me. Everyone's got their own personalities. I just don't like looking girly, and that's why I don't wear pinks too much. But I feel like these kind of looks are still kind of grungy and like edgy without looking super pink and flowery, you know? So next I have this look, and this was again Boun Fresco all in the crease, all on the lid, everywhere. And then I put, I think it was Hot Fudge from my Pan Those Eyeshadows on the outer corner. That was just a really kind of deep, cool tone brown shade. And then I did put the Making Mauves palette on the lid as well. So I haven't spoken about this palette yet, but it was so beautiful. This shade in particular, Mauve on Top, was my new best friend, and this look has that shade in it. It is just the most beautiful Super Shock ever. It was so shiny, so pretty. I'm so happy that I got to use this palette. Look at that shade. It is just stunning. But this palette went really, really well with Boun Fresco. You can see these are those like cool tone, pinky neutral shades. I absolutely love them. It was definitely more these three shimmers that were used a lot more this month, but this palette, it was one that I really didn't like at first, but I've just fallen in love with it over the past month, to be honest. I really love this palette, and it's really sad saying goodbye to it, because even though I don't like pinks, like I said, these are cute. These are like grungy pinks, and I can vibe with these. And of course, with this look, I have a blue wing. That was my Natasha Denona Mini Trio Chrome palette, and that is my Project Level Up palette. And then I want to talk about this look. This was a look that I did in conjunction with my Pan That palette in order. Yeah, I'm doing so many eyeshadow project pans. So I'm panning like a deep purple shimmer and then a bright, light, icy pink shimmer. So of course, Boun Fresco in the crease, all over, everywhere, smoked out as much much as humanly possible. And then on the lid, I have that icy pink shimmer. And then to blend out, you can't see too much because of my lashes, but to blend those shades together in the outer corner, I did put that purple shimmer as well. I would have spoke a lot more about that in my Pan That palette in order, but this is the kind of go-to look that I did with those shades. And finally, this look is the look that I actually did yesterday, and it was my first play with Realgar as a focus shade. I wanted to make sure I was making the right decision, and I paired it with the beautiful Poppy Quiet palette from Titanium Foxes. I did a very, very basic look. It was just Realgar all over the crease, all on the lid, everywhere, smoked out, and then I put the just beautiful shimmers from Titanium Foxes. I do have a whole video review of that palette. I will link it up in the cards. It is one of the best indie palettes on the market right now. So if you're interested in more indie duochrome sparkly shades, definitely go and check that out. All right, companion palette time. Let's talk. I've kind of touched on this a minute ago. I'm so happy I reached for this. I'm so happy I chose this. It went perfect with Boun Fresco. These shimmers are gorgeous. This was one of those palettes that was in my collection and I kind of was like, nah, I don't really like it, don't really care for it. Now I love it. I think it's great. I can't wait to work on this even more. I can't wait to play around with it even more. So I'm really, really happy about that. So I've been thinking this month about this month's companion palette. Obviously, we have 3 shades left. They're all very bright, very summery, vibrant shades, and they're very, very warm as well. Very warm tone, vibrant shades. I didn't know what I wanted to pull in at first, but then the answer was staring at me in the face. Of course, it had to be Soft Glam. This palette is going to tone down the shades of the Modern Renaissance beautifully. Like Realgar here is a bright ass orange. In this palette, we have more like subtle oranges as transition shades. We have some browns that can work as a really subtle outer corner to tone it down a little bit. With Red Ochre and Love Letter as well, the red and the pink, there's some beautiful shades to pair in this palette as well. So we have Rose Pink here, which is a beautiful, just shimmery pink shade that I can put on the lid. I also have Mulberry, which is a more red-leaning outer corner shade. I also have Dusty Rose, though I don't know if I'm going to be reaching for Dusty Rose too much. It's very similar to Boun Fresco, and I think I just need a break. But it's there if I need it. It can tone down Love Letter really, really nicely. And I'm just really excited to reach for this palette. I think it's going to be a really good palette to pair with my remaining shades in the Modern Renaissance. So my goals. What goals do I have for the coming month? I just want to get them all done. Like, I just want to get them all done. I want to really work hard now. I think that Realgar is a great everyday shade for the summer, especially paired with Soft Glam. It's not as crazy. It's not in your face. I'm not going to be walking out the house every day with bright neon orange makeup. So I just think pairing them all together, just trying to pair them all together as much as possible. I'm not going to have a specific goal, but hopefully I can come back next month with really good pan expansion. That's my goal. How long do you think it's going to take us to finish this palette? Were you one of those people who said, nah, you won't be able to finish Boun Fresco this month? What do you think? I did it. I did it. That is so, I'm just so happy about that. I feel like this month has been so good for Pan That palette. Pan That eyeshadow palette, of course, we finished a shade, and I also finished a shade in my Pan That face palette as well. So I'm just on cloud 9 right now. Pan That palette loves me right now, and I'm hoping that it will continue to love me in the coming month as well. But this is it. This is where I'm gonna love you and leave you today, guys. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, like and subscribe. Stick around for some more incredible progress, and I'm really hoping I can have those 3 shades finished sometime this year. I hope you have an incredible day, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye!